First of all, I've been asked to explain to you a little bit about APEC and a little bit about energy in APEC and how this might relate, which it does very directly, to the Swedish experience in the automation region. The term APEC is an acronym. It stands for the Asia Pacific Economic Community. In a sense, it's sort of like the EU, except all decisions are made by consensus. There are 21 countries, and we cover 7 out of 10 living human beings on this earth. So we may not be the richest, but we've certainly got the most people. APEC operates through a series of what are called working groups and tries, above all, to promote trade within the region. There is a working group on telecommunications, there are working groups on shipping, there are working groups on lots of things. The one I'm associated with is a working group on energy, which, given the current timing, is probably one of the most important and impacting that is operating. The Energy Working Group is made up by the number of government-appointed individuals from the 21 member economies. And after it had been going for a few years, the Energy Working Group reports directly to the 21 ministers of energy from each of the economies, and the ministers of energy in turn report directly to the nation's leaders. After it had been going for a wee while, the energy ministers got very cross with the Energy Working Group and said, look, we are absolutely sick to death of hearing about the world as you see it through the eyes of a bunch of government servants. We want you to get out there, get involved with the real practitioners, which are the private industry or the energy industry, and we want to hear what they have to tell us directly. So a thing called the APEC Energy Business Network was established, and it has been quite prestigious. It's had, presidents of Shell and people of that sort of level from a number of the major energy companies around the world have represented their particular economies. Right at the moment, I have the privilege, on behalf of New Zealand, of actually chairing the APEC Energy Business Network. I also have a whole set of other hats, unfortunately. I'm a member of the Expert Group on New and Renewable Energy Technologies, and I'm also a member of the Biofuels Task Force. So I guess I'm meant to know something about those things too. Now, if we look at APEC at the moment, in fact the world as a whole, but particularly APEC, there are some serious challenges right at this time. And they arise from what we call the Hanoi Declaration of the APEC leaders, which basically said the two most important things facing us today, and this was a couple of years ago, so maybe the economic downturn might have superseded, but the two most important things in energy are the energy security and the ability to achieve energy security without contributing to climate change. So energy and environmental linked, and in effect it's you've got to satisfy both challenges. There are a number of things you can do to achieve energy security, but they contribute to climate change. A number of things you can do to reduce climate change, but they make you less secure in terms of available energy. Well, one of the answers, and one that you in Sweden have pursued very, very diligently and are amongst indeed the world's leaders, is the pursuit of new and renewable energy forms, particularly renewables. And if you're going to bring renewables into the market, what are we doing? We're thinking about things like biomass, which is renewable. We're thinking about what I like to call the weather energies, the sun, the wind and the rain. If you're going to bring these into your energy mix, unfortunately the sun doesn't shine all the time and the wind doesn't blow all the time and it doesn't rain all the time. So the energy, electricity, whatever it is that you can generate from these things goes up and down, it fluctuates. And you need a means, if you're going to put up a windmill or put up a solar panel, you need a means of being able to keep a nice balanced supply of, for example, electricity from a renewable energy resource. Bingo. The key to that is automation. You need to be able to, for example, I'll just talk about the electricity system. If, for example, the sun goes behind a cloud, the amount generated from a solar panel drops, you need to immediately switch to battery storage power if you've got some, or immediately switch to hydro or some backup system, and the speed required and the precision required can be fixed in just 3 ways: automation, automation, automation. You've got to have automatic systems to do that. Some of the examples, if I can find my place, in the electricity system, smart grids and smart metering, market solutions, as we have in New Zealand, to incorporate renewables into the system, and similarly technical solutions, and indeed being able to capture consumer inputs to demand-side management solutions. Looking at transport, which is the other big gobbler up of energy, clearly we need and are looking to automation advances in electric and hybrid vehicles, particularly at the recharging interface, which may be done while you're going along the road as in a hybrid, or it may be a plug-in vehicle that you plug in your garage or at some terminal. Clearly, and this has been around for a long time, automation is tremendously important in the manufacturing sector relating to transport, and robotics, of course, as you well know, have long played a major role in assembly line production, and indeed I understand are a significant product from this very town. So there's quite a lot going on there. And then there's automated vehicle systems, fuel handling, mixture control, ignition timing, exhaust gas control, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. If we are going to bring renewable energy, indeed really any form of energy, but renewable energy in particular, into our electricity and transport systems, then automation is absolutely the key to that. Well, why am I giving you a harangue about automation in Sweden? Because you guys are actually, if you're not the world's leaders, you're jolly close to it, and you're certainly the leaders in Europe. And I must say it's a great privilege to be here in such an environment, and I just wish I was here a bit longer so I could learn a bit more from you. Certainly, however, we in APEC, with all our people, we do look very closely towards Sweden when it comes to talking about renewable energy and particularly automation.